My family lived on Long Island for many years after we came to America, and then we moved to California. We lived there, went back to New York, went back to California again, and I finally graduated high school in California. Then went off to Humboldt State University, transferred to UCLA from there, and graduated in 1978 at UCLA in Slavic languages and literatures. Then I worked for several years and came back to school to do Russian history at the University of Oregon, where I did my master's, and then went on to Indiana University at Bloomington, where I did my doctorate. I was getting finished with my doctorate. I had a chance to interview here, and it was like gold. I mean, it was a time when the number of graduates with doctorates in history was far above the number of jobs. And so I just felt incredibly lucky to get any kind of interview, much less an interview here. When I first came here, my father was still alive, and he was always very concerned about where I ended up with my work and my studies, and he would try very, very hard to learn about those places, and particularly to come and visit me to see that I was doing all right. And I found a little pamphlet on the history of UNA, and I sent it to him, found it at the bookstore. And I got a letter back from him, and part of it, to paraphrase a little bit and exaggerate, said, "Thank God, I know it's going to be okay, because one of the earliest professors was a very eccentric Polish person like you are." But the history of the university itself, I think that you can see in it something you see when you travel in Europe if you keep your eyes open. And that's that you can see the horizons of change and development in it. So as you walk the campus, you walk it from the oldest to the newest, and everything is there, from Wesleyan Hall, built out of bricks, made out of clay, dug out of where the fountain is now, processed by slaves, built into that building, all the way up to the new science building, the new nursing building is going up. As a historian, you're engulfed in the story of our campus wherever you go. A lot of historians have an indistinct sense that there's something they want to find back there. There's something about how humans behave now that we can know better by seeing how they did it in the past. You have to want to do it for reasons that have nothing to do with the normal motivations. It has to be the way that you're proving yourself as a person, or that there's just simply something that drives you toward knowing the past. And I think that for me, that's my work in public history, both in the department and with the Lauderdale County Cemetery Rehabilitation Authority, part of a group that documents historic cemeteries around Lauderdale County. There's 450 some of them. We don't even know all of them. And so a group of us go out all through the cold weather, taking pictures, writing down inscriptions, mapping, collecting information about historic cemeteries. And that's become a very big part of my life, and it's had a spin-off in a couple of directions. One is in an ongoing project in Germantown, Tennessee, for 10 days with one of our graduate students to train people at a congregation there, New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, to document their own historic cemetery. It's also been behind 2 study abroads that I've done in Scotland with other faculty members. I think the thing I value very highly now is the chance to get out in the field, get outdoors with people as part of my job, and turn that into materials that then can be used for further research.